All right, good morning, everybody. I'd like to show you a way to reduce and simplify. After we watch that video from Chris Orwig, our goal is to try to make photos have a little more impact by in one technique, simplifying and reducing, getting rid of distractions. So when I look at this portrait, I think, well, it's pretty clear and crisp. It's pretty obvious what you're supposed to look at. The face is all in your face, right? And there's all these other elements in the background that could be simplified some more, right? So what I'm going to try is a blurring of the background. Let's do it. First, I am choosing the selection brush, right? And there's a few choices of which to choose. I'm going to use quick selection right here. Okay, and the brush size, I'm going to make it rather bigger, maybe towards like 70 pixels. All right, and click on the face. Okay, and what it does is it tries to understand where you want to put what you want selected. Hi, cat. Can you be quiet? We're making a video now. Thank you. He understands English, I think. All right, but when we zoom in, you can see that the selection, the dotted lines are not exactly. I hold down the space bar to get that hand and move it. See, I'm not getting the edge. It's looking for the edge of where it's like dark to light. Like it finds that edge really easily, but this edge it's messing up. And elsewhere too. Over here, I don't want the fence, right? And so right now it's on adding to this selection. I'm let go of the space bar, and I'm going to click subtract from the selection or push it back in, all right, to the portrait, to the face. So I'm going to hold down Option as another way to go back and forth between plus and minus the selection. I'm going to minus it and push it back like that, and try to get that dotted line back on to the edge. And as you can see, it's pushing a little too much back. So I gotta go in the middle and push it back out. And it's getting a little smarter with every click that I do. So I can see the size of the circle. I'm gonna make it smaller. That's the size of the brush. And I'm hitting the bracket key, the left bracket, right above the return button. You can see that it's changed it smaller right there, and it looks smaller here. Now it's on plus again. I'm going to go push it out to the edge and try to get as accurate a selection on my face and the hoodie at the same time. Okay, now I want to get this, see how the lines go way up here. I want to Option to minus select and push that line back in. All right, and if I want to zoom in and check my selection, I can Command or Control plus. Hold down the space bar for the hand, move over. I want to fix this right here. Check that it's on plus. And if it's not doing exactly what you want, you can make the brush smaller or bigger to make it more basically sensitive. It's called changing the threshold. Back to plus, push it out. Okay. And I'm pretty satisfied with that right there. Okay. Now I was telling you that I want to change the background, right? Yet I just made a loop around this dotted line. The selection is just on the portrait. I want the opposite of that actually, right? But this is a method where you choose exactly what you don't want blurred, and then you go up here to select and inverse. Now it's changed. Notice it changed the line from the edges and then up to the edge of the picture. So now I have only the background selected. Okay. Now to blur the background, there's a lot of ways to do it. Actually, a lot of different filters or brush techniques and so on. But the most simple I'm going to show you right now is go to Filter at the top. And there's a whole gallery of different types of blur you can choose. Now it's only going to do the blur inside the selection that I just made. So I could try Gaussian blur, is very popular. And it's a pretty natural-ish looking blur. If I make it a much bigger blur, the radius of each pixel gets blurrier and blurrier. It gets to be completely artificial background, right? So I want some information there. I'm going to bring it back, not too abstract like that, but just enough to throw it back to make the background more backgroundy, which makes the figure even more advancing and in our face, right? I'm going to try it right there and see what happens. Okay. Now, another thing, here's a little bonus for this one, this little video, is that what are other ways to simplify? I like the color scheme so far, but I'm going to play with also adding an adjustment layer of black and white. See what that does. All right. Oh, and look at that. It only did it on the background because I had a selection active. See, the dotted lines are still there. Right? That was an accident, and I like it, so I'm going to go with it. In fact, watch this. I'm going to make the red darker or lighter, and it only does it in that area. That's kind of fun. What if I make it darker? That's kind of a little more interesting background without being too much, right? Yellow. I can make it a little darker still. Kind of liking that. It's green, not much. The sky is gray. I'll keep that. Yeah, so I'm kind of giving an indication of shapes without going too far. All right, and I'm going to leave it right there. Thanks for playing.